Market is a little bit crazy right now. Interest rate went from the low 2% in 2021 to over 5.5% just this week. And a lot of you guys watching my channel have said, listen, maybe I'm not gonna move to Ottawa just yet. Maybe I'll hang on a bit and see what's going on with the market. That's what we're talking about today. And I'll tell you what the opportunity is and might be in the future, and hopefully answer all of your questions. So the big question, is Ottawa still affordable? Yes or no? Stay tuned. If you're not part of this community yet, please subscribe to this channel for weekly Ottawa content. And if by the end of this you still have questions for me, you can book an appointment directly with me through the link in the description below. So there's 5 things really I want to talk to you about in regards to affordability and what I would do if I were you. So like I just said, prime rate went from 2.45% in 2021 to 5.5% just this week. If you're new to the real estate market, that might seem like a lot, but historically, if you look at 15 years plus, 5 and 6% is the average we're used to. The big difference though is that now home prices are way higher. In 2019, the average sales price from a home was $442,000 as opposed to $718,000 this year. Also, we saw it peaked in February at $757,000, which was insane. This rapid increase means that the affordability on the same property today would cost you an extra $1,000 a month. So needless to say, a lot of people were priced out of the market. Big question is, do you rent here, do you buy here, or do you sell everything you have in Ottawa and move somewhere else? There's 5 important things I want you to consider before making a decision. Number 1, new builds. For the longest time, builders weren't not offering much to people because there were simply too many buyers. But now that the demand has slowed considerably, they're coming back to the table asking, listen, we don't see the demand that we used to. What can we do to bring buyers back to the table? The answer is simple, offer free stuff. And that's what you're doing with incentive in form of cash rebate, designer packages, and etc. The best way they could bring back buyers would be to reduce prices and lock in lower interest rate, but they're not ready to do that just yet. Builders are like me and you, they're just waiting to see where the market is going. And until we hit spring market, it's very unlikely that prices are going to go down. As for what they're selling right now, singles are still a good deal. They're in line with what the market is price-wise, but now you get extra incentives. On the townhouse side, unless you're adamant about having something new, I would go on the resale side. There's so many townhouses on the resale side that prices just drop dramatically, so you can get a way better deal looking at those. And you still can get something that's 2019, 2021, so fairly new, but for maybe 50 to 100K under, I think it's a better deal. Something I love about this market is that you don't have to fight 700 buyers for every home in the market. So in terms of affordability, you're keeping more money in your pocket by paying closer to fair market value. So you don't have to liquidate everything you own to buy this property. So for everyone in the market right now, it makes it easier to guess how much you can get for your current property and also what you expect to pay for the next one, since we're paying closer to listing price nowadays. So I would say this is a big win for today's market. The next thing I want you to consider is horizon. What is your long-term plan? Because realistically, if you're looking at a long enough horizon, let's say 5, 7, 9 years, then it doesn't really matter if the price go up, down, and up again, because you're locked in to what the market is right now. And being able to find a home that you love and stay there for a while just bring back some certainty in your life. And for those of you who are thinking about buying a home and flipping it in a year, or you're constantly moving, or you're one of those people that call me and say, hey, Henrick, this is the 10th time I'm gonna buy a house. Maybe you should rent, right? Maybe you should wait and see where the market is going. But like I was saying, with a long enough horizon, if you want to call Ottawa home, then settle down and make Ottawa home. And worst case scenario, we can rent the place up for you if you're not ready to sell when the time comes. Okay, next thing, I hear this question constantly, Henrick, when will the bubble burst? Listen, having studied the 2008 crash, there's one fundamental thing that's very different now than it was back then. We have a lot more people with a lot more equity than back then. Our crisis was never as bad as our neighbors down south, but we still had to react and protect our market, so we tightened our lending practices and created the stress test. Both those measures were put in place to make sure that people don't overextend themselves and would be able to pay their mortgage if rates were to go up like now. Another thing is that back then, the job market was garbage. Right now, we have the lowest unemployment rate ever. So if you ask me, when is the market gonna crash? I find it very unlikely unless we have massive layoffs or some sort of unforeseen event that deeply affect the economy. Thing is, Ottawa still has a strong buyer demand. Economy is healthy, there's a booming job market, and it's relatively affordable to live here. And that attracts people from other cities in Ontario, but also other provinces in Canada. I have people reaching out from Edmonton, Calgary, Victoria, so that just comes to prove that Ottawa will remain a strong market. It's funny, people last year, as soon as they kind of knew I was realtor, they were saying the same thing. Oh, you must love this market. There's so much money, everything's expensive. I hated this market. It's the worst, it's terrible. We're fighting 20, 30 offers, 100K over ask. Right now is actually a much more exciting time for us. I get to actually use my skill set to actually help my buyers. Last year, it was all about money. So you want it, just put more cash in. Now there's some give and take. I can negotiate with the seller's agent. We can see multiple properties. We can take our time a little bit more, and we see the return of conditions too. So it makes me feel like I'm doing a way better job at actually helping my client. On the selling side, being a creative realtor like myself actually starts to pay off because the marketing of your property will actually impact the selling price of your property. So I'll take a market like this every day. If you're uncertain about where you're at in life in regards to moving, not moving, and you only need a resource, that's why I'm here. I'm not only here to sell you a house, I'm here to help you figure out what's best for you and your family. So please feel free to reach out. I'll walk you through the numbers and the best options for you. You can find my contact information in the description below. But before doing any of this, you should ask yourself, is Ottawa the right city for me? I have 9 things you might want to consider before moving here. Right here, let's try my new catchphrase of the show. Stay informed, stay connected. That's too much? I'll turn it down a bit. Stay informed, too much? Okay. Stay informed, stay connected. Thank you for watching.